Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful, blessed and a very great morning indeed, and I all hope you guys are exactly enjoying yourself as well. Sorry about the noise behind the scenes, I was just exactly fixing the fridge as usual. But despite that guys, I'm very grateful for your support in watching and in viewing my episodes. It gratefully, completely means a lot to me. As in, literally, so much completely means a lot to me, guys. So, despite that, God bless you all. And from those of you who are watching shorts and videos as well. So, God bless you all. On today's video and episode, we will be talking about the Death Witch, who's a very powerful villain, and also a high-ranking member of an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Six, that wants to control and conquer over planet Earth and over humanity and over the sacred world and the known universe in the process. She's a very powerful, devious, very manipulative, powerful, devious, manipulative witch and a high-ranking member of the Order of the Six that is willing to conquer and control planet Earth and the rest of the known worlds and the sacred universe and the rest of sacred existence in a process to further their plans and their goals as well. So let's begin. In the Death Witch's earlier life, she was very skilled in dark magic and as well in death magic in a very quietly trait. She came from the sacred universal magic dimension where she was able to unlock her power and her abilities at the exact same time and at the exact same rate, during which at the time where she was able to demonstrate her powers of immortality against the other formidable dark witches, which was able to show them that she's very skilled in the dark arts and also in very skilled in the dark arts and also in powerful witchcraft as well. The other witches quietly viewed her as a very powerful, dark, deadly witch, and the Death Witch herself exactly grew more powerful as her reputation grew more stronger as well. Over the following years, the Death Witch exactly began her long rampage and her long mission throughout the sacred magical worlds in conquering most planets and many civilizations. And in doing so, she managed to found a very powerful group of death druids and death witches and death faithful who became her very high-ranking followers, who became very much high-ranking followers in aiding her mission and also in her goal as well. During which at that time as well, the Death Witch demonstrated her power and her dark magic abilities with the rest of her followers, known as the Death Druids and the Death Witches and the Death Faithful, where they combined their dark magic all together in order to destroying the other worlds and planets and also absorbing and extracting magical energy and powers from other magical worlds and civilization throughout the sacred universe and throughout the sacred world as well in the process. Despite this, she grew too powerful and very too powerful and extremely immortal as her and her followers grew very powerful as it became a very major threat to the rest of the sacred world's balance and magical fragile balance of the magical worlds and of the magical planets throughout the sacred universe magical dimension as well, during which at the time the fairy witches and the warlocks banded together to fight up against this major threat, and the death witch able to use her death dark magic to obliterate them and also to completely wipe them out with one fell swoop, demonstrating her power and her ability and her worth to those who exactly oppose her. During which she returned to her secret laboratory beneath the ancient secretive crystal dark caves, where the rest of her followers were completely waiting for her, and she told the rest of her followers that her greater plan and her greater mission is quietly waiting to bear fruit sooner or later in order to controlling the rest of sacred existence and the rest of the sacred world, which she began to enlighten her followers and the rest of her forces at the time as well. During at the same time as well, the Death Witch and the rest of the Death Druids and the Death Witches and the Death Faithful began converging their power and all together in the ancient sacred cave and walls, in the ancient secret caves and powerful dark caves, where they were able to light up the most powerful dark crystals and highly able to activate them with a power of their dark magic convergence by converging the energy all together in one, by simplifying the magic energy and all its power all into one, using it as a simplified battery in order to activate the crystal's energy and power and capacity as well at the exact same time, during which made the most powerful dark magic users more extremely immortal and very powerful as well, which made their magic and their powers very insanely dangerous and also very much unstable. as well. And the Death Witch was very, very successfully pleased with the results that their powers were able to adapt and that they were highly able to evolve at the exact same rate as well. On that same time, the Duchess began able to study the ancient history of the Children of Destiny, who are also known as the Children of Prophecy, who are very powerful ancient creatures and beings who have the ability and power to change the war's fate and the war's destiny at the same time as well. She became so obsessed and so fixated on how the Children of Destiny or known as the Children of Prophecy were able to utilize these powers and abilities in changing the war's fate in changing the war's fate and the balance of power on their own terms as well. Despite that, she discovered that the one of the other Children of Destinies were very much highly compromised and corrupted by the same dark powers that the Death Witch was able to acquire on and managed to discover that there are some other Children of Destiny who defected from the original goal and from the original mission as well. And she became very enlightened with that some of the other Children of Destinies may have unlocked the secrets of unlocking dark powers and dark abilities in a greater, larger scale than ever before. And she was willing in order to locate them and also to find them as well. During which, at the same time, Lord Six, who is the leader and founder of the Order of the Six, approached the Death Witch and gave her a very powerful proposition which could possibly benefit her and him on their very much of their distinctive goals, and stated to her that he could help her further her own goals and her mission as long as if she helps him further his ultimate goals and plans to conquering and ruling humanity and planet Earth and the sacred world and the sacred universe in order to further his ultimate goal and ultimate plans. And the Death Witch completely agreed that she'll remain as an associate to Lord Six, and also she'll become a new high-ranking member of the Order of the Six. And the two duo completely agreed each other that they'll aid each other on their respective missions, and respective goals. And the Death Witch was very completely surprised and very enlightened that her purpose and her goals will finally bear fruit to the entire sacred universe and to the rest of the sacred magical dimension in the process of her furthering her ultimate goals and plans by any means necessary as well. On the 15th of January, the members of the Order of the Six held up a video audience when one of the Shadow Empire warlord exactly told them that the universal heroes have completely thwarted their plans and their attemptable escape. They completely thwarted their plans, and their technology have been heavily sabotaged and have been heavily neutralized within the process. Lord Six exactly reassured the Shadow Empire warlord that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be, and the Death Witch was quietly present throughout the video audience as well on that same day as well. On the 29th of January, the members of the Order of the Six held up a video audience when one of the dark druids exactly reported to the members of the Order of the Six, stated to her that the universal heroes have gladly thwarted their attempts and their planning and their future goals in order to stealing more technology and more highly valuable adaptable crystal technology and more powerful battery technology than ever before. Despite this, the Death Witch reassured the dark magic user that everything else is going under control the way it's intended to be, and that everything else is going the way it was meant to be, and that the plan is fully aligning. And the powerful magic user known as the Dark Druid was very much quietly reassured of that as well. Very much completely reassured of that. And he reassured the members of the Order of the Six, then that is exactly what will begin to take place as well. On the 9th of February, War Brother held up a video conference with the members of the Order of the Six, where he told them about the power vacuum within the Shadow Empire and the death of the original World Magic. Stated to them that the death of the original World Magic has created a power vacuum, and that the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have secretly formed powerful, formidable alliances with ancient groups of supervillains that have existed for many centuries ago. Lord Six exactly told warp rather, that everything else is going according to plan, according to plan the way it's meant to be, meaning that their plans can successfully bear fruit, in other words, and that they aligns with the other Shadow Empire warlords in supplying them with destructive and more powerful technology. Will also come to they'll also supply the Order of the Six with more powerful and very compatible technology as well to deal with the threat. And the Death Witch was very quietly present on that video conference as well, on the exact same day as well. On the 15th of March, the Death Witch and the rest of the Death Druids and the rest of the Death Druids and the rest of the Death Witches and the Death Faithful began meeting up, began convening in a dark holographic holograms in an ancient secret crystal chambers beneath the sacred world dark crystal palace, where they're able to discuss their ways to further their plans, and also they on where they're able to discuss to further their plans, and also they go. The Death Witches reassured her followers that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be, meaning that the destruction of the Shadow Empire will soon benefit the Order of the Six and will soon benefit her and the rest of her associate with their goals, in order for their goals to successfully bear fruit as well within the process. Meaning, in other words, the elimination and the extinction and controlling and the soul dominance and the soul domination of the universe will fall to Lord Six and to the Order of the Six, making them the sole rulers of the known universe and of the rest of sacred existence in the process as well. And her followers were completely reassured of that as well. On the 29th of March, Lord Six held up a video conference with the members of the Order of the Six, where he began to exactly reassure them that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be. War Power began to question that, is everything else going the way it's intended to be, with any other plans being disrupted, and with the disappearance of the Universal Heroes on last year, has quietly managed to create another power vacuum within the Shadow Empire. Lord Six exactly stated to War Power that power vacuum has created a major opportunity, that the rest of the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have begun to secretly form an alliance with the Order of the Six, and the Death Witch was very successfully pleased and very quietly present throughout the video conference as well. On the 19th of April, Lord Six held up a video conference with the members of the Order of the Six, where he told them that everything else is going the way it's intended to be, and that all the plans and all the jurisdictions have been made according to planning and have been made with the full details, and that their plans can successfully bear fruit. And the Death Witch was very quietly reassured and very successfully pleased with that, meaning very gratefully successfully pleased with the results of that as well. On the 15th of May, the Death Witch and the rest of the Death Druids and the rest of the Death Druids and the Death Witches and the Death Faithful meet up in the ancient secret cave, where they began meditating their dark magic and their powers and their abilities, in order to become stronger and more powerful and more invincible than ever before, where they were able to absorb and extract as much of the natural energy and power until their powers began to adapt and highly evolve. And the Death Witch was very successful, pleased that their magic and their abilities were able to adapt and evolve in such a very faster rate than ever possible as well. On the 29th of May, the Death Witch attended a video conference with the members of the Order of the Six, where she began to reassure them that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be, that she has her own plans, and that her and her forces are working on a major greater experiment than ever before. And Lord Six was very quietly reassured and very confident that experiment will gladly make a major breakthrough, no matter what exactly, despite that. On the 15th of June, the Death Witch and the rest of the Death Druids and the rest of the Death Druids and the Death Witches and the Death Faithful began literally meeting up on the asteroid base, where the Death Witch was able to demonstrate her dark magic powers and ability, and her death magic powers and ability, where she began to summon the power of darkness and shadow at will, where she was able to conjure it and combining it with dark science and with dark magic, where they all focus all their power and energy in order to darken the rest of the magical worlds and civilization in one fell swoop, due to the interference of the universal magic heroes, who came just in the nick of time in order to save the inhabitants and the rest of the other planets and worlds, which they gladly fought up against the dark and powerful mysterious magic users, and also as well as the high leader known as the Death Witch. Universal Magical focused her battle against them, against the most powerful evil force of evil, known as the Death, with her magical abilities and power, where she was able to gladly fight toe to toe against her with her magical abilities and power. And the Death Witch realizes that her and Universal Magical and her abilities are fiercely evenly match against their magical abilities and power. So they both evenly match with their abilities and powers in a magic well. Despite that Universal Magical's power and magic is very quietly like light magic, and that her magic is very dark magic and very black magic and very powerful dark substantial magic. Despite this, Universal Magical used her newfound power in order to move the Death Witch out of the way and completely exactly vanquish her. Her and the rest of her followers decided to disappear and teleport themselves out of the way completely during the battle. Despite this, the Universal Magic heroes were very successful, victorious, as are very happy that the entire magical worlds and planets were not exactly completely covered by utter shadows or darkness or anything else, which Universal Magical began to ask herself. And the real question is, what were these mysterious, dark, and powerful magic users were really willing to gain by creating darkness, outer darkness and shadows, bringing utter darkness and shadows to the magical worlds and civilization? What was exactly the real, true objective of their goal and of their plan as well? On the 15th of July, the Death Witch attended a video conference with the members of the Order of the Six, where Darkspot began telling Lord Six that the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition have managed to deliver a major blow towards the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, and that the new Lord of Magic is quietly successfully rising within the shadows and ascending and rising in power with his new ancient secret society and his new empire, which in other words makes him more powerful and more deadly, and a more deadly threat and a more very invincible threat. Despite this, Lord Six reassured the members of the Order of the Six that even with the threat of the new Lord of Magic and his new ancient secret society, he won't be able to stop the inevitable, and that the Universal Prince has formed a very secretive alliance with the Star Prince, meaning that the war between the Star Empire and the original Shadow Empire that's under the control of the Dark Order and under powerful ancient secret society that's quietly founded and led by another supervillain known as Red Bolt, who's willing to use the Shadow Empire's resources to wage war with the Star Empire for sole control over the Sacred Universe and over the Star Universe. Lord Six exactly began to tell the members of the Order of the Six that the war between the two empires might benefit them in very much numerous ways, which they could become the sole rulers of two universes and other universes throughout the sacred universe and throughout the sacred world, meaning that their sole control will exactly benefit them in many ways. And the Death Witch was successfully pleased and very proud of that, as well as in literally very pleased with the results that she was able to get from the video conference as well. On the 15th of August, the members of the Order of the Six were all in a video conference where War Brother told the members of the Order of the Six that everything else is beginning to take place and that their plans can successfully bear fruit, and that their controls of the other worlds and civilization has begun to weigh down as the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have secretly supplied them with more destructive technology, and that in return the Hive Brothers have successfully provided the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with more powerful volcanic island cities and planets and worlds and civilization that are under the control of the Order of the Six. And Lord Six was very successfully pleased with that, meaning that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be. And the Death Witch was very reassured of that, and she was quietly present throughout the video conference as well. On the 15th of September, the members of the Order of the Six secretly convened on an ancient dark crystal temple, where Lord Six was beginning to reassure the members of the Order of the Six that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be. The Death Witch began to ask Lord Six that everything else must go according to plan, the way it's needed to be, because their plans have successfully have to bear fruit, and that everything else needs to take place. And Lord Six began to reassure the Death Witch and the members of the Order of the Six that everything else has been put into place and the action can finally begin to take place as well. On the 16th of September, the members of the Order of the Six began to reconvene again on an ancient secretive dark crystal temple, where Lord Six began to tell the members of the Order of the Six that the planning and everything else may be disrupted, but they managed to gain the intelligence and the information they needed to know about the Intergalactic Coalition's plan and future goals and plans in order for them to liberating more thousands of worlds and planets that are under the control of the Shadow Empire. Despite this, the Death Witch was also began to understand that underestimating the universal hero's abilities in thwarting the operation and their successful plans and their successful plans was a big mistake in underestimating their abilities and their power, and never again they should actually ever do. The dark spot began to reappear and told the Death Witch that he successfully agrees with the Death Witch that underestimating the universal heroes is a big and larger big mistake that can never ever happen again. And Lord Six began to reassure the members of the Order of the Six that they learned that the hard way that these sacred heroes can never be underestimated as well. And they agree that it's time that they take the hard way in a different route in order to wipe them out and exterminate them completely. And the Death Witch began to agree with that as well, as she was quietly reassured of that as well. On the 16th of October, the Death Witch and the rest of her followers began to secretly meet up on her secret laboratory, where they were able to demonstrate their powers and their abilities, releasing the dark and black magic of shadows and the black magic of shadows and the power of darkness at will, where they'll be able to demonstrate that their energy and powers has grown very, very powerful and very, very deadly. And the Death Witch began to tell her followers that they should exactly practice more often because they'll be going to war one way or another, and they all successfully agreed on that. On the 19th of November, the Death Witch and the Death Druids and the Death Witches and the Death Faithful decided to attacking another world on another planet that was quietly inhabited by warlords and warlocks and light witches and fairies, and they decided in order to organizing an ambush, which they did strategically, very much strategically, and they decided in order to do it strategically, and they decided to order to ambush them strategically, and the ambush began taking place as the Intergalactic Coalition was able to count on this ambush, as they decided in order to fight the war against the most powerful dark magic users. The Death Druids and the Death Witches and the Death Faithful decimated every living creature, such as the warlords, commanders, and the fairies and the witches and the other light druids at will, and the rest of the Four-Nation Hunters with a dark and powerful, unstable death magic at will. But the Four-Nation Hunters and the Intergalactic Coalition triumphed and remained victorious throughout the battle, as the Death Witch began to tell her followers to psychically she began communicating with them and talking with them psychically, and told them that it's best for them to psychically retreat in order not for them to be apprehended, and they all teleported themselves away as they all retreated completely as well within the battle. Despite this, the Four-Nation Hunters began to learn that these mysterious dark magic users known as the Death Druids and the Death Witches and the Death Faithful are very, very quietly led by a powerful, mysterious figure that have been led by a powerful, mysterious, dark witch figure who's very powerful and is very dangerous and who can never be underestimated, as the rest of the other forces agree. The warlords and the commanders and the warlocks and the witches and the druids agree to back and help and assist the Intergalactic Coalition in a way to remain its allies and also to remain its comrades after the attack began taking place. And the Intergalactic Coalition was very successfully pleased and very happy that they managed to gain allies throughout the battle as well. On the 19th of December, the Death Witch was secretly at her secret dark laboratory cave, where she was able to begin experimenting with shadow energy and power in order to strengthen her dark magic and power and ability, able to discover that her dark death magic is very greatly unstable and very quietly uncontrollable, and she did the only thing that she had to do. She infused herself with more substance of shadow energy, which made her more powerful and more extremely intelligent and more immortal, which gave her the upper hand to control her dark death magic at will. During at that time, which one of her death druids began to report to her that Witchcaster is searching for a powerful ancient dark energy spell, ultimate power, and the death witch was very successfully, very much quietly, successfully enlightened with that. Stated to the death druid to tell her to keep her informed with what Witchcaster is doing and what exactly who she's forming secretive alliances with and how far is her quest in searching for the dark energy spell ultimate power. And the death druid successfully agreed that he will successfully provide her with the eyes and ears of the operation, what Witchcaster is up to, or what exactly she's been planning to do. Despite that, she was very quietly, gratefully pleased, and very successfully happy that Witchcaster is making progress with her quest, searching for the dark energy spell ultimate power as well. Throughout the following years, she's been able to keep tabs on her. On the 19th of January, the members of the Order of the Six held up a video conference where War Brother exactly reassured the members of the Order of the Six that everything else is successfully under control and that the situation has completely began and that the situation has began to dissolve quickly and that the Intergalactic Coalition is now compromised and under the control and influence of the new Lord of Magic, meaning in other words, the trust and the trust within the trust within the inner circle of the Intergalactic Coalition has become broken and has become quietly fragile between the Universal Heroes and the Four Nation Hunters. And Lord Six was very quietly successfully pleased as he told War Brother to make sure that their partnership still holds deal as the other Shadow Empire Warlords and Commanders Alliance remain intact and remain intact and that their partnership remain intactable and also indestructible as well. It was quietly formed many centuries ago and many years ago as well. On the 15th of February, the Death Witch secretly convened with the ancient and most powerful immortal dark magic users who are an ancient secretive society group known as the Order of the Four with the goal and mission to maintaining the cosmic balance of power by any means necessary, which they were able to convene on an ancient dark crystal cave with a dark holograms in order to conceal their identities. Despite this, the Death Witch began to tell the members of the Order of the Four that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's supposed to be, that she's a full high-ranking member of the Order of the Six, and that everything else of the goal, the plans of the Order of the Six will successfully bear fruit. Despite this, the Dark Druid told the Death Witch that everything else must go successfully according to plan, and that wiping out the Universal Heroes and the rest of the Four Nation Hunter must successfully bear fruit. The Dark Sister began to ask the Death Witch is that has she successfully managed to enjoy her new place and her position, becoming a new member of an ancient and most powerful secretive society of supervillains? And the Death Witch began to respond with that notion. She stated yes, and that she's very loyal to the organization and as well to her associate, and that she's not willing to do anything, whatever it takes, to betray them. And the Dark Sister was very satisfied as she relinquished in a very satisfying smile, very much satisfying smile as well. The Dark Faithful began to ask if the Death Witch is willing to proceed with their own plans and with their goals to searching the secrets and power of the power of darkness and the power of utilizing dark magic and the power of utilizing dark magic of the power of utilizing the dark energy of darkness and the power of utilizing the power of the energy the power of utilizing dark energy and shadow energy at will. And the Death Witch began to tell the members of the Order of the Six that is exactly what she's willing to do, despite that she has gained a powerful, formidable adversary known as Universal Magical, which she learned never to underestimate. The four dark and powerful immortal magic users exactly told the Death Witch never to underestimate the Universal Magic Hero's abilities in thwarting your operation and your long-term plans, and she successfully agreed with them as well. On the 14th of March, the Death Witch began to secretly meet up with Lord Six and began telling her that everything else is beginning to go according to plan, the way it's intended to be, that things are unfolding, they are unfolding the way they have to be, and that the revelation will soon be revealed throughout the rest of sacred existence and throughout the rest of the sacred realm, that the Order of the Six will have sole total control over humanity and over planet Earth and over the rest of sacred existence, as long as the monsters of the dark dimension continue to wipe out and remove the Four Nation Hunters and the Universal Heroes and the United Heroes out of the way. Lord Six began to tell the Death Witch never to underestimate the Universal Heroes' abilities in thwarting the operation and the long-term plans, because they pose a major threat to their future goals and to their future plans. And the Death Witch began to agree with that. That mistake will never happen again as well. On the 10th of April, the Death Witch began to meet up with her followers on an ancient, secretive, dark crystal cave where the Death Druids began to tell her that their plans have been successful, began taking fold, and that everything else on searching out his secretive archives and history has begun to hold purpose in everything else they do. So did the Death Witch, and so did the Death Faithful. And despite this, the Death Witch was very quietly happy that they managed to find the ultimate secret of utilizing the power of dark energy, the power of utilizing darkness energy and darkness magic at will, meaning that they'll become more powerful and very extremely mortal at will, making them more stronger and making them more powerful than ever before. Despite this, the Death Wish even presented another book that exactly holds the long history of the Shadow Clan and also of its descendants on their power on how to creating dark and mysterious dark illusions and powerful on manipulating shadows at will. And despite that, the Death Witch was very successful. It means that her followers have managed to help her crack a long secret that she's been willing that she's been searching for many years and for many years and for many centuries. And despite that, she told her followers that it's time for them to get back to work and to begin her full conquest in conquering the sacred magical worlds and planets and the sacred worlds by any means necessary. Despite this, guys, the Death Witch is extremely immortal and very, very powerful foe, as she has the most powerful, dark, deadliest magic ever known as death magic, which is quietly wielded by dark, extremely dark magic, which makes her gratefully strong and very, very gratefully powerful. She's extremely immortal and she has mastered the powers and she's mastered many abilities with the dark arts, the abilities of creating dark holographic holograms, the abilities of casting dark illusions, the ability of using summoning power, the ability of summoning, the ability of resurrection, the ability of creating dark orbs, the ability of teleportation, the ability of dark teleportation, mind controlling, reading minds completely, also reading minds and opening dark portals, creating, combining dark science with dark magic, able to unlock and manipulate the forces of shadow and darkness at will, able to converge energy, able to reconvert shadow energy and dark energy at will with her followers aiding her. She's a high-ranking member of the Order of the Six, which is an ancient secret society of supervillains that has lived for many centuries, that has a simple, powerful, ultimate goal to control and conquer and rule planet Earth and the rest of mankind and the known universe and the rest of the sacred worlds and the rest of the sacred universe at will by any means necessary. She believes the goals of the Order of the Six and she's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that those goals of the Order of the Six bear fruit. She's very determined and very ruthless, very ambitious, very powerful, deadly. Her dark death magic is gratefully unstable, as it proven to be more unstable for many years, but she keeps infusing herself with shadow energy in order to make herself extremely immortal and very, very powerful. She's very deadly, and she's managed to utilize the power of the dark gods at will and to control her dark magic at will. She has a group of powerful, dark, mysterious dark magic users as her followers, known as the Death Druids and the Death Witches and the Death Faithful, who act as her followers and who follow her every command and will, who follow every command and orders at will, despite that she leads them with great authority and with greatness, and despite that they believe in her goals and they believe in her research, in studying and utilizing the power of darkness and shadow at will. She's very determined and very obsessed with the power and with the powers of darkness and willing to unlock the secrets of utilizing the power of shadows and darkness as well. And she's very, very, very powerful and deadly as she maintains her usual basis of operations, such as her sacred, powerful dark crystal temple and her secretive cave laboratory, where she can able to convene and secretly meet up with the members of the Order of the Six, and her secretive crystal temples, where she can secretly meet up and convene with her followers and with her associates in full secrecy, where they can discuss their plans and furthering their own plans and their goals in the process. And she maintains her central headquarters, which is also her dark crystal temple, where she uses it as a base of operation, where she converge her dark magic and her powers and ability. She learns the hard way to never underestimate the universal magic hero's abilities in thwarting her operation, and that she's managed to find an evenly matched foe such as universal magical, as she learns from the hard way that she never underestimate them ever again, especially the universal hero's abilities in thwarting the operation and her successful failure. Despite this, she's very determined in her research and in her mission, searching for the ways to unlock the secrets of dark magic, searching for the ways to unlock the secrets of dark magic and the secrets of darkness and shadows, no matter what, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to become more powerful and more extremely immortal than ever before. She's extremely an intelligent, dark witch, very smart and very charismatic and very ruthless, cruel, evil, and very ambitious and very determined. Very, very powerful, deadly, and mysterious. Her origins are completely unknown, but she came from the sacred magical dimension many years ago and many centuries ago, and she forms secretive alliances with other ancient groups of supervillains such as the Order of the Four and the Dark Witches and the witches of the sacred magical worlds and planets, in order for them to combine their resources, in order for them to utilize their resources for our ultimate goal and also for their goals and also for their plans. Despite this, she's extremely intelligent, very extremely powerful, not meant to be underestimated. Very, very powerful. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I will exactly extremely see you tomorrow. I all hope you have a wonderful, blessed day and a very much great day indeed. Thank you for viewing and watching my episode, guys. It completely means a lot. Like and subscribe and have a great day and have a great, blessed day and an evening. I will exactly see you tomorrow. God bless you all. Take care. Bye. Bye.